Welcome back to the Core Comprehensive Counseling Program, Module 2. In the last module, you built a foundations document to clarify what your school counseling program does and how it positively impacts students. That foundations document is called foundational because the elements summarized in the document are solid, relatively stable, and not likely to change much year to year. In Module 2, your focus is on creating an annual update document, which does change each school year. Your annual update involves a review of the most current student data so that you can determine the highest priority needs of your students right now. Plus, the update includes what counseling program goals you will put in place to address these highest priority student needs and concerns. You and I both know there are many, many important needs of your students. Some days it feels like everything is important or urgent. But what the annual update does is identify, based on student data, what the 1 or 2 or 3 most important needs of your students are that must be confronted this year, and then list the goals and the action plan your counseling office will put in place in order to address those needs. So even though this is called a comprehensive counseling program, it does not describe every single thing the counseling program will do in the school year. Instead, for clarity purposes, your annual update broadly describes how your school counseling program is organized and the student needs and subsequent student outcome goals that you're specifically focused on this year. So let's start building your annual update, beginning with a simple task. Go to step number 2, click on the pencil icon, then the plus sign, and choose your own name or add the name of someone not already listed. After entering the staff member's name, title, and email address, move on down to where it says caseload. Briefly describe here how the students at your school are assigned to each staff member, by grade level or by student's last name, for example, or perhaps another method. If you're the only counselor in the school, simply write all students. Next, enter the actual or approximate number of total students assigned to each staff person at the school. Remember, each school counseling model is specific to only one school, so just enter the number of students assigned to you or this staff person at this school. If you work at more than one school, this will show up in the box that's labeled FTE, or full-time equivalent. For most counselors, the FTE is simply 1 because you work at one school. But if you do work at 2 schools, for example, or more, the FTE is typically 0.5 if you're working at 2 schools. If you split your time between 3 schools, it's 0.33, and so on. Adding the FTE figure here reminds those who view the document how much of your time is spent at this particular school. Take a few minutes now to complete this step, check it off your to-do list when you're done, and when you come back, we'll move on to section B.